Hi guys, welcome back. So FamilySearch has this new section called the Discovery section. Today I'm going to be focusing on my pioneer ancestors. So the only way I know how to get to this Discovery page is typing in the /discovery after FamilySearch.org. If you guys know of another way to get to this page, please comment below. I would love to learn. So like I said earlier, today I'll be focusing on the My Pioneer Ancestors section. So let's click on that. So this is the My Pioneer Ancestor page. It's going to pull up with one ancestor to start with. In my case, it is a female ancestor. But later on, I'm going to show you how to find more pioneer ancestors. But right now, let's focus on this female ancestor. So this is a female ancestor. It has her picture right here in the middle, her name, once again her name again, her birth year and her death year. Then it also lists the company that she traveled with. Then learn more about Lenore and a few more pioneer relatives. So her picture's here in the middle. Then off to the side, it's showing my relation to her, or my husband's relation to her. We can actually click on her name anywhere, and it should pull up her personal page, her personal family search page. And sure enough, it did. And here is her personal page on FamilySearch. We can also click on the company she traveled with, and it should bring us up to church library, the church history library page. So let's click on that. So this is the church history library page. It has brought up the company that Lenore traveled with. It says right here that the Daniel Thompson Company. And we can see down below everybody who was part of that company that traveled over, that group of people who traveled over. Then you can click on this anywhere in this box and bring a drop down box and view any other companies. So we could view like the Brigham Young Company, and now we have a new listed names of people who traveled with Brigham Young. Then you can click on their name. It should bring up their page here on the church history library, and also their stories and things like that. I'll get more into depth on this in just a bit. We can click on pioneers, and it has now brought up a list of ancestors who are pioneers. As you can see, we have an ancestor who is named Alvin Bailey, the years that he was alive, the company he traveled with, which once again, if we click on this, it should just bring up the company like it was over here. So let's click on that. Yep, it has brought up Daniel D. MacArthur Company. Then we can click on, we'll do the view my page in just a second. We can click on view my relationship. And now it's brought this pop-up box showing my relation to Alvin Bailey. We'll close that. Now we could go and view Alvin Bailey's personal page here on the church history library. So here is Alvin Bailey's personal page. So it has Alvin Bailey, his birth date, his death date, his gender. Sometimes they actually give you a picture. If there's a picture of this ancestor that the church has in their library, they will put it right here on the little info section. Then we have a little synopsis of what they know about Alvin Bailey, the company that he traveled with, which we'll click on that in just a minute, his age of when they departed, who he traveled with, which looks like a Nephi Bailey, and then sources such as books and documents to prove of Alvin Bailey's existence or the company that he traveled with. You can also click on like people he traveled with and go to their personal page. So here's like Nephi Bailey's page. Oh look, here's that picture I was talking about, how you could sometimes see a picture. And doesn't seem like we have very much information about Nephi Bailey, because once again there's no little synopsis right here, but everything else is pretty much the same. So let's go and click on Daniel D. MacArthur Company and show you what that does. So now that is brought up Daniel D. MacArthur Company here on the LDS History Library. And we now know that he had 141 individuals and 51 wagons who were part of his company that traveled to, it looks like Benton, Wyoming. We can click on like view summary, and now it's brought up a summary of his company and what they brought with them, such as once again their passengers, their wagon. 25 of the wagons were loaded with goods to store in Salt Lake and stuff like that. And then look how many people died. 7 people, mostly young children, died on the route. Then there's a bunch of, once again, sources about his company. So if you want to view that, then you can click on individuals, and it will once again list all the individuals who are part of his company, and you can click on their names and it should bring you back to their personal pages. There's that. So let's close this page. So if we keep scrolling, you will see more ancestors that were pioneer ancestors. So let's scroll down. And then underneath all of them is Discover the Journey. Right here is a Google map of the trail they took. In this case, it's the Brigham Young's first pioneer company. And it gives you a little overview of how many men, women, children, wagons, horses, mules, oxen, cows, dogs, chickens, boats, and cannons. Brought a cannon? I did not know they brought a cannon or a boat. A boat would make sense more than a cannon. I don't know. That's weird. See, I'm learning things. I really like this section because, well, it's kind of cool. We're all addicted to Google Maps in this generation or this time frame. And it also kind of helps because my husband, if you guys know, is a convert. And so he doesn't know these things. He wasn't raised with these things. He doesn't realize you can find them sometimes in your triple combinations or in your Book of Mormons. These little maps. And like the other day when we were in church, we were learning about Zion's Camp and their 1,000 miles that they walked. And my husband was like, I wish I had a Google map of all the paths that the ancestors took or pioneers took. And we do. So in this case, it's the Brigham Youngs, and we could see where they departed and the path they took here to Salt Lake. We could try Daniel Spencer and see he started in Iowa and had to go further. So there's just different little paths that they took, and it's all kind of interesting, fascinating. So yeah. Then if we scroll down, we have more little things, some little stories, view pages, and websites that you can go to help understand your pioneer ancestors and what it was like to take this journey and trek. So this is what pioneer teens look like by the wagon or handcart. What's the difference between taking a trek by a wagon or a handcart? A virtual museum, a pioneer exhibit museum, so that's kind of cool. You don't have to go and travel to Utah to go look at a pioneer museum. You could do it online. The Path of Pioneers, so pretty much little stories and videos and more maps of what pioneers, the past pioneers took. Then down here we have why did the pioneers pioneer? If you kind of know Mormon history, you would understand why they pioneered. But for each one, it was a little different. And you can read little stories of why they pioneered. And then further below is the FamilySearch Memories app that you can get on your phone or tablet or whatever. I will be doing a video on this at another date in the future. And if I remember when that video is posted, I'll link it down below in the description box. So let's close this and go back to the FamilySearch Discovery page. I know that was a lot that we just inserted. So now we are back here at the Discovery page, my Pioneer Ancestor Discovery page. And we just did the Daniel Company. Now we could do learn more about Lenora. And once again, that brings you up here to the Church History Library page, which we've already gone over, so we'll just close that. So now we can click on the View More Pioneer Relatives. So let's click on that. So now we have a list of pioneer ancestors, and we can just click on these arrows and scroll through to view pioneer ancestors. So now we can click on like a Joseph Bailey here. Now it's showing me his little preview page, or I guess is what we can call it, where it shows us his picture, how we're related to him, and a little synopsis information about him, how he traveled, what company he traveled with, the years he lived through. Click on like the more information about him and go to his Church History Library page. Or we can go and view more pioneer ancestors and scroll through that whole list. But now we're going to scroll down and view the other things you can do here on the Discovery page. So underneath the relatives that you can view, they actually have Pioneer Trail recipes. So if you're a baker, this is the section you'll want to get into. So right now the three main ones that they have listed for me is this cinnamon roll thing that looks yummy, the potato cakes, and Pioneer hardtack. Ew, hardtack. And you could just click on these. It doesn't matter which one, and it should bring you up to the FamilySearch blog page and the recipes for these. So yep, it's now brought me to the FamilySearch blog, and it's like, hey, engage in family history with early pioneer recipes. We scroll down, you can now view these recipes. Oh look, a new one, a hand mixed bread. And click on these, like click on the potato. Then it's now pulled up the potato cake recipe. So you can now learn how to make potato cakes. So we'll close that. Close that. So underneath the Pioneer recipes is Ride Along, or Along the Ride. So how would your packing list match your Pioneer's packing list? Then it kind of shows you this picture below. So obviously here on the left side is what your ancestors would have packed to travel to the west, or across America, wherever. And then on the right side is what you would pack to travel anywhere. So you can click on this little circle right here and click and drag and see more of what we bring in modern day life and less of what your ancestors pack. You can go the other way and see less of what you pack and more of what your ancestors would pack. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, and we'll keep scrolling. So underneath that is Trek to the West. Right here is pretty much a bunch of statistics, or things that pioneers did when traveling here to the Salt Lake Valley. See, the Salt Lake Valley. So it took millions of steps, roughly how many miles, how long that would take by car nowadays. You know, they're gathering the bison poop for fuel. That's how they generally started their fires. Then we have a little video right here, which I'm going to let you guys watch the video. I don't want to ruin it for everybody. So we'll keep scrolling down. And pretty much that's it. So how will you pioneer? What pushes you forward to your own personal journey? What foundations of your faith will you lay for those who follow you? And that's pretty much the Pioneer Ancestry page. I hope you guys liked this video and it was helpful. And that you guys will now go and investigate and learn more about your pioneer ancestors. If you guys have any questions, please comment below. I will try to get back to you as soon as I can. If you guys have any suggestions on anything else I should film, please also comment that below. I'd love to hear your guys' suggestions. I hope you guys all have a beautiful week. Bye!